Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another Arena Direct for Edge of Eternities. We are competing to win a physical collector booster box of Edge of Eternities by playing Best of One Sealed on Arena. Very high stakes event, 6,000 gems to enter, but again, chance to win that collector box. In order to do so, you need to win 7 games before only 2 losses in Best of One Sealed. So we are at the mercy of how well we open, we're at the mercy of how well we draw, and we're at the mercy of dodging opponents who opened 12 rare sealed pools with many bombs in them. So, very high variance, high stakes event, but a pretty fun one. It is a chance to play some very competitive limited on Arena, and I love me some boxes, so let's see if we can't win that. Without further ado, let's hop into the next event. We've got some great rares here. Secluded Starforge is excellent in any 2-color deck. 3-color decks with a good amount of fixing can justify it as well, but it's a really good way to keep spitting creatures out when you're mana flooded. So I love that Secluded Starforge. We also have the Nova Hellkite, which can get a ton of damage early, and the Mutinous Massacre that can win a game out of nowhere. So some kind of Rakdos deck would be pretty cool, but technically if we go full Grixis, we could play every single one of our rares. That said, there is at least one rare that I wouldn't want to play, the Weapons Manufacturing. Just very unlikely to get all the synergy you need to actually use those munitions tokens for anything, which makes this a very bad card in most draft and sealed decks. And then the Monomonom, the right hand, is also not the greatest, particularly in sealed, because you're not likely to have a whole ton of artifacts. It's a 5-mana 3/4 flyer by itself, so you really need a bunch of artifacts in your deck to justify playing this. If they kill this before you draw 1 card off of it, it's very bad. And even if they kill it after you've played 1 spell, it's just okay. So you really want enough artifacts in your deck that you're consistently playing 2 or 3 off of it really quickly, in which case you want like 15 plus artifacts, which is really not happening often, particularly in sealed. So not the greatest there. The red and the blacks, where I'm really excited. The Nova Hellkite and Mutinous Massacre are absolute bangers. Starforge, excellent in anything. And Singularity Rupture, potentially quite good. If we splash in the blue, that only requires a single blue mana, so the Watery Grave does help that splash. See what we got for colorless and multicolored for fixing. Obviously, no dual lands at common in the set, so no other common fixing, and no fixing out of colorless. Our colorless is really bad, just 2 torpedoes. If we have no other removal, we could play some really slow removal there. We got a weirdly high amount of multicolored spells for this set. There's not a ton. There's 1 uncommon in each 2-color pair, and that's it. So opening up this many is surprising. We open up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multicolored uncommons. We've got a black-white, 2 blue-black, green-black, red-green, and red-white. None of those align with our rares, and our rares are much better than these uncommons, as decent as they are. So I'm still a lot more likely to be going black-red than anything else. Although I guess double Alpha Rail does align with the Singularity Rupture, so that's decent there. What do we got from each color individually? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of into double Sunstar Lightsmith, especially in a color that has 2 1-drop creatures, 1-drop equipment, 2 1-drop removal spells. White has the tools to get a lot of card advantage off of the Lightsmith, which is kind of exciting. This also doesn't have terrible removal. Banishing Light, Focus, Fire, and Radiant Strike are pretty good in that descending order. After that, we get to the removal that gives our opponent a lander back, which isn't the greatest, and then the least flexible removal is Seam Rip. So in terms of how excited I am to play them, it goes from left to right in this list. Definitely play the first 2, almost definitely play the 3rd, and almost definitely don't play the 4th and 5th. I think is where we'd be at there. Although Seam Rip I think is actually better than Emergency Eject for this deck when you have double Lightsmith, because it helps you double spell pretty easily as a 1-drop. So probably play these 4 removal spells, that could be pretty good. So I don't think White's actually that great, but I do get excited when I see double Lightsmith. What do we have in blue? We have a lot of creatures, not much for the non-creature stuff here. Are they any good? Mouth of the Storm's pretty good. Gigastorm Titan, good if you're good at double spelling. Mechan's okay with the Relic. And then a lot of filler, it looks like. Some good filler with Galeblade, but also some pretty bad filler like Sentinel, Operative. How many artifacts is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unless we have a secondary color with like 8 or more artifacts, I'm not the most into. Phenomenon. Yeah, blue does not look excellent there. Black is very slow, but it does have 3 removal spells that are all playable, although we don't have any virus beetles to sack to Embrace Oblivion, so that might have to get cut without a secondary color having good cards to sack. That's kind of all the color has, though, a couple removal spells. The circuit feeders are really good if you have enough artifacts on your board, so fingers crossed red has a ton of artifacts for that Rakdos build, but then the Skitter Maws and the Blade of the Swarms are really, really filler creatures. But they make the cut if they have to. If we have to play them to play our reckless, whatever, red-black rare. What do we got in red? I'm not playing Weapons Manufacturing. I'm definitely not playing Drill 2 Deeps. I don't like Ruinous Rampage or Rig for War either. 0 removal. Ugh. I mean, there's 1 Litho Breaking, but that doesn't really count. Wow, yeah, the non-creature spells in red are bad, bad. But we have a Nova Hellkite. That's kind of exciting. We have 1 Nova Hellkite, and we have the red-black rare. I don't know if we got there. The quality of our red and black seems pretty bad for trying to go Mutinous Massacre. Yeah, that's just not great. Super slow. And this is like running the Temporal Intervention and stuff. Not super into it. What do you got, green? Triple Diplomatic Relations and Close Encounter. So green has the most removal and the most efficient removal. And an absolute reversal of fate here. And a bunch of really solid filler. Or better. I guess we're playing green? Disregard rares, acquire decent commons and uncommons. Because our non-rare spells in red and black were quite bad there. So what were those multicolored uncommons again? Brood Tender and Tanook towards green. Green's my favorite color of everything we looked at. I could see green splashing in both these colors. It has to hit double of each, which is difficult. But how many lander tokens did we have out of the green? Because we had some good stuff. We had the Galactic Wayfarer. I guess we have 3. Landseeker, Wayfarer, Agrarian. That is less than you would want, but it is something. Junding out. Junding out could be a thing. Green-white aggro also doesn't look horrendous. 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3. No green-white uncommons. Were there any colorless cards we could play in here? Not really. Starforge, I guess. I mean, with double Lightsmith, we might play Torpedoes if we went this direction. Looks okay. About blue. Not enough artifacts for the meme machine. That's the big reason to play blue. Yeah, just get a bunch of filler creatures. I mean, the curve looks good, but that's about it. Green, black. We get some good removal added to our list of cards here. Good top end with double circuit feeder, but not a lot of artifacts to go with it. Green, red. Get that Nova Hellkite, that's huge. Nebula Dragon to ramp into. Landseeker for another lander for fixing. I think I like green-red for sure. And this is running all of the fixing in the whole sealed pool. We also get to run Tanook. Well. Okay, I could emergency eject my own permanent to fix. But that's the only other piece of fixing. So as much mana fixing as possible in the whole sealed pool to justify playing a colorless land and splashing into black. You did double black, though. Mutinous Massacre could absolutely be worth it. I mean, the Circuit Feeder as well. Just go all big top end here. Full 3-color, not even a splash, just run like 6/6/4. Praying for those lander tokens to take us there, because we didn't get any other fixing. This is 43 cards. I only get to cut 3. Honestly, I'm running a colorless land. I don't have that many lander tokens. I have 4. And that's if I don't sack the lander to Lither Breaking to use it as actual removal. And that's if Agrarian sticks around long enough to become tapped. I really have inconsistent fixing here. That's only 2 consistent pieces of fixing. And I'm running a colorless land. I don't know if I can justify the double blacks. It might just be a light lander token splash to black. Just a swamp and then 2.5 lander tokens to hit random black removal spells to reach our 40 card count to build a deck. This will be a 17 land deck. It's got our 2 best colors in here. It's got a lot of removal. Splashing in even more. Awkwardly, our rares are all double. You know, double blue, double black, double black. If I don't want to splash at all, we cut Depressurize and Grav Kill and play some real mid removal like a Shattered Wings and Debris Field Crusher or something, or some Torpedoes. I was pretty happy when I looked at the rares. Certainly got less happy when I saw the lander token count. I think this is a reasonable build for it, though. Yeah, perfectly solid little deck to play around with here. Let's do it. We'll call it a deck here, hop into gameplay, see how well this does. Here we are on the draw for game 1 with a monocolored hand that has been pretty standard these last few Arena Direct runs. I have Tenderfoot no matter what, but then if I don't hit a red source, I'm not playing anything, period. If I hit a red source, I'm good, but I'm on 8 Forest, 7 Mountain. 7 out of like 30 something. Take the mulligan here. That's exciting mana. Keep Depressurize for early removal and keep all of our colors. Definitely getting rid of a spell and not a land there. Playing against green-red, they start with Ore Plate Pengaling. I don't want to depressurize that immediately unless they play another artifact. It stays a 2/2 for now. It can hang out for a little bit. Uh-oh. I'm going to lose because they drew their Nova Hellkite. I have one too. If I didn't draw it, so I'm going to get beat down by yours real quick. Terrifying. I have nothing in hand to deal with that. Let's surveil towards something, I guess. A land is not a way to deal with a Nova Hellkite. Our deck has... what? Grav Kill for sure, I know. And then Diplomatic Relations with a 4-power creature on board would do it. We have a few Diplomatic Relations. So we have like 4 ways to deal with it. Oh my god, now the Ice Till Explorer. So they can play 2 lands each turn. They did not have an extra land in hand this turn. Or engrave. Kill that before they get value off it and play a Scrapper over playing just a Land Seeker. I think that's reasonable. But if I don't draw a way to kill the dragon, I'm gonna die. And we are still on 0 ways to kill the Hellkite. We know they don't have a 5th land in their hand because they didn't play one off the ice till Explorer, so they have to top deck a land before we start taking that damage, at least. There's Molecular Modifier. Adds to their damage output pretty well here. Okay. Landseeker, probably end up cracking the lander to the Scrapper soon enough. The way this game's going. There's the top deck land for Nova Hellkite. They can hit me for 5 a turn. They're under a lot of pressure now, though. They're at 12, facing 2 4-power creatures, so they go for removal instead. No Hellkite this turn. Get a 4 damage swing in with modifier thanks to the Vigilance from Diplomatic Relations. Now we're down to 12 as well. Secluded Starforge. So better to sack this and draw a card, or just make a 2-2. And just keep making a 2-2 every turn. The 2-2 is good. It's a guaranteed 2-2 over, like, sack this, draw a card, and maybe just another land anyway. They let me keep the Thawbringer. I think I'm going to make the 2-2. I'm 3 hits from dead. To the Hellkite. Just pretend whatever we drew off of the lander token was a 2-2, except we put it immediately on the board. There's the Hellkite. Reading the Starforge. When I saw they gave the Hellkite first strike, I was like, ooh, maybe they'll attack both. Maybe they'll attack both. Oh, they are still going to attack both. Okay. Tap X, untapped artifacts you control. Target creature gets +X/+0. 4, 5, 6, 7 power on the board. 1, 2, and tap that. 1, 2, 3 to make a lander. 1, 2, tap. Oh my god. Am I a genius? Is this the weirdest lethal in the universe? I'm going to create a lander token. Not sack an artifact. Give one of my creatures +1/+0. Tap 1 artifact. 8. How is that the line? We take those, I guess. 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are on the play for game 2. Turbo Drone's really good with Warpers because it can give them Oh. Play a Mountain and pass. There's Gene Pollinator. Good old Gene over there. See how well it pollinates my lander token. Play a 2 toughness or less creature, please. Thank you. A little greedy to wait longer, but I'm doing it anyway. Take 3 and see if they play a 3rd 2 toughness or less card. Three. Not allowed. Not allowed. The booty is too thick. Put my own 3/3 to keep that thing off me. I don't think that's crazy. Need another red source for Hellkite. Night Luminary. There's a 1/1 to kill with Nova Hellkite. Just do the warp here is fine. I hit the next red though, so I could just hard cast it and get that out of the way. Not great against removal. But if they have the removal, they're still going to end up just killing Hellkite with it later regardless. Alright. If I Hellkite now, I can do 6 mana worth of plays next turn. I'm missing out on 1/1 damage ping. Alright, they are missing land drops. They're just going to use the lander token here. Ooh, Warden's actually good with Hellkite, but it feels better to play Turbo Drone and hold up diplomatic relations regardless. Warden's actually good with Turbo Drone too. That's so funny. The god tier diplomatic relations deck. Or sorry, Tapestry Warden deck. My brain doesn't work very well. If you haven't caught on yet. I always say the wrong thing when I'm talking about something else, and like half the time I don't even catch myself. Board wipe. I hate this format. You heard nothing. We'll play a 4/4 and a 2/2 and pass. Hope they don't have double board wipe, and then we can relations away a creature. Slam for half their life total. I guess Night Luminary gives them 2 blockers, so they'd still be able to chump some. Thawbringer it is, Surveil 1. Chrome Companion is the next play. Big enough to deal with Scrappy. Relation's the 4-power creature. The +1/+0 is irrelevant, but we still need to kill something here to attack. Don't want to trade Scrapper for a Companion. When I have a Wayfarer coming up, I can sacrifice the Lander token next turn. If I did want to trade Scrapper for Companion, then I could have Diplomatic Relationed the Slagdrill Scrapper onto the Thawbringer so that both my creatures had Vigilance. But if I wasn't going to attack with Scrapper anyway, it doesn't matter. There's an Agrarian. Certainly looking for more removal, which a Mountain is not. I don't have any double green cards in this deck, do I? I do not. So, double green, tap, sack Lander, and draw. Because I don't have triple red cards either. I could have spent green-red. Gravkill. There you go. That is the removal I was looking for. What's up? Play this. There's some weird card that gives Ward 1. I don't remember one. Jam 7. Kind of force a chump here. Or a Focus Fire on Wayfarer. They are at 1 life now, but Chrome Companion does gain 1 life every turn. Wait, they had the 2 mana up, didn't they? They could have at least spent 2 to gain 1, I think. If nothing else. I was completely empty-handed. Maybe they didn't have the mana up? I don't know. 1 removal spell is on board lethal, and that is 1 removal spell drawn. So by choosing a creature, instead of having target creature you control deal damage equal to its power, even if they have their own removal spell to kill Wayfarer, this does still resolve. However, I wouldn't have lethal, because it's 2 attackers to 2 blockers, but they don't have their own spell. Awkward game for our opponent. They had some rough mana issues and then just didn't really do much from there. So 2-0 for us heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the play for game 3. 3 removal spells that need a creature on board and a single 1-mana 1/2. These are the kind of keeps I live for. No matter what I draw, I'm in such a good position, right? No, this is a risky keep. But with both of our colors, 3 spells that are very good if we draw any threats, I think we do have to keep it here. And we have drawn some threats. We drew our 3-mana 3/3. And our 4-mana 4/3, both of which come with a lander token. Opponents on mono blue for now, 3 islands from them, so they are taking risks too, that's for sure. Now I can play Tanook before I crack this lander token, an excellent top deck. Yep, our opponent has taken some bigger risks than us, that is for sure. I think I'm in a better position to just be violently aggressive than draw 2 here. Right, because I can lander token to draw 1 off Chinook and then plus Scrapper if I don't care about the 5th land, and that'll use all 4 of my mana. But they're just dead. There's the concession from our opponent. Easy game of Magic there. We both kept risky hands, but theirs was riskier. And they really did not get rewarded. They got stuck on just one color for too long when we drew some good, cheap, aggressive threats. And that is all it takes. That is 3-0 now, guaranteeing we get some of our monies back. Slow hand here, but the Litho Breaking can help make up for that. If our opponent's on a really aggressive start, with 2 toughness or less creatures, you can blow them all up. They are blue-white, which can be a pretty aggressive deck with 2 toughness or less creatures. The problem is they've played a bomb rare that makes them bigger than 2 toughness. The Lumen class frigate is great. Very easy to make their whole board get +1/+1. A little harder to fully station it, but once you get there, it's super worth it. A 3/5 flying lifelink is huge. We had a great draw turn too. Our Terra Botanist, our 2-mana creature that survives a Litho Breaking. It's pretty sick. So they warp the Vocalist just to start working on the frigate, get it to where it is buffing their board at worst. No 3-mana creatures to play, sadly. We just poke and pass. Warden's nice with Terra Botanist, but I'm probably playing Agrarian first if the board is relatively empty. Command Bridge. Tap the frigate, right? Tap a land. Need the frigate for something else? What is this? Beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 other artifact control becomes a creature with base power toughness 2/2 and gains flying till end of turn. So unless they station that, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and they didn't station it, so weird they didn't tap to frigate, but fine. They weren't doing anything else with the mana anyway. Ooh, a 4-mana 5/5. I don't hate that. I kind of do enjoy holding up removal for if they station the lab ship so that I can kill the frigate. But I also kind of feel like I'm playing the board here. Artifact creatures base power toughness 2/2 and flying. It's just going to be a 2/2 flyer. It won't have flying and lifelink. So just hit me for 2 in the sky. It's very reasonable. Play the Agrarian. Start getting lander token value. Our opponent has played literally only rares so far, by the way. Rare, rare, rare have been their plays. Spice, for sure. Vanishing Light, get rid of Agrarian. Fair play. Fair play to you. Do I play a 5/5 or do I play a Warden to hit for 3 right now? I guess it kind of balances out. Let's play the Warden then. It's more immediate damage. Why is everyone main decking a null? I mean, it does hit some cards, but it's annoying every time. I mean, it's not the worst uncommon in the whole set, but I think by win rate it's like bottom 5. Okay. Land 6 would be absolutely wonderful. Play a Colossus, play a Close Encounter. But I don't got that. I don't have that option. So I play one spell, or I warp a Fate Maker and play a Close Encounter. Which also doesn't do much. I could warp Fate Maker and then play Close Encounter or Litho Breaking, I guess. Or Diplomatic Relations. I think we're killing the frigate this turn. We'd prefer to cast one of the 3 mana ways to blow it up, so that if we hit land 6, we can Colossus and use the 2 mana removal. Likely on Team Litho Breaking, unless they play something that'll end up with less than 2 toughness post killing the frigate. Actually, no, in that case, it'd be really good to Litho Breaking. Like, say they cast a 2/2, so it's a 3/3 right now. Then I Litho Breaking the frigate and the 2/2, that would be really, really good. Okay, Mechanizoa's done. That is nothing else that's dying to Litho Breaking. They're playing nothing but beef. Fair enough. It's a lot of stationing power here. They both need enough, though, that they can only fully station one of them. God dang it, I needed them to station the lab ship. And just activate the frigate with the lab ship's ability instead. It's gross, I can't kill the frigate. Because it's so big. Now I can kill the Mechanizoa so they can't cast it on me later, at least. So I am doing something with my mana this turn, which is enjoyable. Yeah, let's do the something with my mana here. And then let's top deck a land. No! Need my 5/5 down to Close Encounter. I need to kill this frigate so badly. If I just hardcast Colossus and just kill it in the turn cycle before I Close Encounter, when they have the opportunity to, that would be really, really bad. Just beating him with a 4/4 Flying Vigilance too. I really don't have any good plays. Just drop a Fate Maker here. Another Mechanizoa. Cease. That stations the lab ship. The double triggers on Mechanizoa from the vocalist too. Alright, well, we got triple rared and missed several land drops. And it is what it is. 2-1 heading into game 4. 3-1, my bad. We got prizes here. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 5. We're 3-1 right now, and you only got 2 losses to give in this event. Well, 1 loss to give. The second loss knocks you out. So we're on the precipice of defeat at all points. And this name is very familiar. I've definitely played against this player today. Okay, not last game. It's not the exact same deck, at least. Golgari stuff. There's Beamsaw Prospector. Oh, when I say today, I mean literally today, as in within this recording session, not within this video. We might not have played against this person in this video specifically yet. 3-3 to hold off the Prospector for now. I don't really care about getting my 1 damage in per turn for a little while. Another Sky Stinger. Ship Agrarian for our 4-drop play. I've got the removal to back it up and try to get it in there. It will be important that I don't choose the Agrarian, because I don't want to give it Vigilance. Looks like they've got removal for Agrarian, though, regardless. Or they're just reading it a little bit earlier. Hopefully they were just curious and they were just reading it. Alright. Warp in the Elite to void the trajectory. They also get the counters from the Elite. That is real strong, real solid. If I don't trade into Sky Stinger now, it's going to be a 5-5. I think it's a lot easier to deal with a 4-3 Prospector than a 5-5 Sky Stinger. So I think I'm taking this trade. But now I really need my land draw. There it is. And if we get removaled again, it's going to be a bad time. Timeline Kohler, hasting on in. Virus Beetle. They can recast the color from grave, and the 1/1's not very relevant. I think I have to keep Relations. That is a painful discard. If we Diplomatic Relations the Prospector away, I have a 6 power, 5 toughness, vigilance attacker. They can chump. But that's it. That's reasonable. The lander token from the Prospector can get their second green for the Elite, but it'll take a while for that. They'd have to crack it, it would come out tapped, and then the turn after that, then they can finally do the Elite stuff. I've got the 5-5 blocker up. Let's crack this right now. Do I have a 1-drop? I have no 1-mana plays in my deck. I guess there's literally no reason to sack it right now. Because now if they go for a removal spell on Fungal Colossus, I can sack Colossus instead. If I wait. Keep the land for later. Oh wait, no, Scrapper is one of the weird ones that doesn't sack creatures. Sacks artifact or lands. So yeah, I can't sack Colossus regardless. Alright, tragic. They find the removal for Colossus. I'm not technically flooded, but we have drawn 2 more lands than our opponent. So they have 2 more spells in their hand, and we have 0 in hand. It's not going great right now. Or Hellkite would probably be our best draw. forest would probably be one of our worst. Crack a forest, draw another card. Thank you, Scrapper. Very cool. Fate Maker. Okay. Play the Turbo Drone, and then I can get the +1/+1 counter from Fate Maker and haste it in for damage and keep it in exile for another +1/+1 counter later, which would be pretty valuable. Spend a full-on combat trick to kill this drone. You got it. Yeah, that's super fine. Getting that out of the way on a tiny creature. That keeps coming back anyway, instead of them using that on something big and like trampling over for lethal late game. Wow. Scrapper is very necessary this game. Take 3 damage if I Fate Maker. Warped. Try to maximize value, though. Get as much as I can out of every card I can. Okay, Wayfarer is reasonable. They have sadly naturally hit the second green source for their elite to come out soon. But to make Wayfarer 4/4, we'll leave the color B for now and go to 15. Their last card's a second Broodguard Elite. Oh my god, and a rare dual land. The one that turns into a 2/2 Death Toucher. What? Holy mountain. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I feel so bad because Slagdrill Scrapper is trying so hard. It's not helping. Just gonna get absolutely overwhelmed by elites here. So I technically should have just scrappered the lander token. Those are just like extra steps of scrapping the lander token. But I think I would have played this out the same and just had the Fate Maker in exile regardless. Try to get something up to 5/5 stats. It's just I would have had 2 random extra mana untapped instead of none untapped by the end of this turn. Alright, there better not be much lands left at this point. There are 6. So there's 5 in the whole deck now, out of 20. Two more forests in hand, we crack a forest. It's interesting if I live long enough. I'm not sure I will. I do like to double check the grave and like think about my counts of everything. Kind of instinctually, so just the was really funny to me. They're like a perfect, like nice colored order too. Red, green, red, green, red, green. There's a turbo drone in the middle, but at least he's the right color. Wow, the Beckoner combo with Virus Beetle now. Let's go to 0. Liar. Our opponent has drawn 6 lands. A little bit better than 12. Is there a huge point in Nebula Dragoning the timeline color when they can just haste it back from the grave? Probably not. I guess I'm just turning the flyer into a 2/2 on the ground, which also doesn't feel the most relevant, but it is something. Now we're just gonna have to chump with Scrapper and hope that the work that it has done has gotten the lands out of the way. Because they're going to beckon her again, so one of my blocks will be terrible no matter how I do it. So just chump with the 1/2 instead of anything else. And honestly might be chump with Fate Maker over chumping with the Scrapper. How did they get that lander token? Oh, the Prospector. So they have not cracked a lander token all game. Timeline color is the choice, sure. Okay. They don't have any more flyers. So it feels better to lose a 4/4 than a 5/5 to kill Virus Beetle. And then, because I'd just be chumping with Scrapper anyway, the alternative double block on Beetle is Dragon and Fate Maker. And then they just kill Dragon, I get to keep Fate Maker. But if I lose Fate Maker, I can get rid of one of their counters. So I lose Dragon and Scrapper, or I lose Dragon and Fate Maker. If I lose Dragon and Fate Maker instead, get rid of a counter on Timeline Color. Sure. I'm losing 2 creatures either way. So I whittle down their board a tiny bit. Not in terms of quantity, but in terms of power toughness. I don't think that's enough, but we'll find out. Pass through and see how they swing it. There's the lander token finally getting cracked. Death Touch and Quagmire coming in for a wide enough board to kill us through a removal spell, I believe. But let's see. So we go eat that without losing a creature. Trade that. Trade that. I guess I am not dead with removal in my hand. Can barely survive. And then they have 1 creature left on board, which would be 1 really big timeline color. But they could have that and a 2/2 Broodguard Elite, so they'd have 2 lethal threats on the board. Yeah, the Elite Death triggers game, I think, but let's see. I guess if we hit the land that makes a 2/2 every turn. I'm so sad by that draw. Because the color they can just recast from the grave. If I kill color right now, we die to them recasting it from grave. It has to be block the Broodguard Elite, kill color next turn. Or they attack with only color and I just kill color next turn. I could do this right now to hit them for 6 and then die, so I can't do it right now. I have to do it during their turn. Another threat off the top, and it surveils. Mills a land. Still super dead here because now Elite makes the Thawbringer bigger since they top decked a threat. But I don't think they would have attacked with the Elite as well if they didn't top deck a threat. 2-2 to block the color, 5-5 to block the 7-5, and then they can still recast the color. We finally hit our spells, but we just hit so many lands in one big chunk that it doesn't matter. We fell so far behind having to take so much early damage and 2-for-1 ourselves, and they top deck removal anyway. I don't even get one more draw step. Off of Pangling. Rough ending, rough event here. First loss, we got out a card quality pretty hard. Second one, we just drew a bad land clump in the middle there for 3 and 2 with not a ton we can do about it. Pretty happy with the deck that we built. I think this is one of the stronger decks we could come up with out of the sealed pool. We could have gone for real risky mana and tried to get Mutinous Massacre in there. It's a potential that that was worth it, but the mana would have been really, really bad. It'd be like 6 of each of the main colors with double cards, double blacks and double reds. Would have been awkward for sure. But hey, I think 3-2 is pretty reasonable for this sealed pool. We had some decent rares, but didn't have great fixing to really get them working together. I like the deck we came up with here. I think this was a solid way to fuse our best cards together into a reasonable strategy with our 2 best colors. Just didn't quite get there. 3 and 2 though, still a positive win rates in a very competitive event, a very high variance event. We'll take that. Get some of our gems back this time around. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more like it, you can always like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.